some basic functionalities of the O3 school platform. Key thing to remember is that this is completely customizable both in the look and feel and how data flows from one system to another based on the school's model. Today we're going to see one example of it. You can see student, teacher, and parent logins. We also will have a school admin login in the future. Let's see what a teacher does. A core part of the teacher platform here is centered around data, personalization, and professional development. We want to provide the teacher a control panel to create playlists for their student, add content, find the right resources, look at data, and then also find the right professional development content for the teacher to maximize the impact on the classroom. Your system actually collects this information, provides it to the teacher as a summary. Teacher can see different classrooms that they're teaching, one-on-ones that they have set up with students for different reasons, sort of an overview of how the class is progressing in these different subjects from their goals. Here the teacher can see how he or she is progressing on their own goals. These are goals that the teacher sets for themselves, like make a video to experiment with flipping my classroom or create targeted interventions for my tier 3 students. These are PD goals teacher can set, can find resources, assign it here. She can also share this with her peers and with the school leaders to get feedback. The last bit is the system generated recommendations for professional development. This is driven by our system collecting data on how students are progressing in certain topics and then pulling related videos that the teacher could possibly use in her classroom or to enhance her own skill. The next bit is giving teachers the control system to create playlists. Most of the time, teachers need to look at complex analytics, analyze that, interpret it, then go find resources online or from certain tools, and then create playlists for the student. Imagine doing this for a classroom of 30 every day and to the point that she can drive mastery. To make the teacher's life a bit easy, what O3 has done is we're curating a set of resources and content that the teacher can search here. Through these resources, the teacher can create playlists by herself. This is a generic playlist that the teacher has created for this particular course. Now, what is interesting is a system has ways to create knowledge maps. These are maps both that a teacher can create, but also a system can auto-generate based on historic data that we are collecting from a large volume of students. Now, what the system does is instead of giving this playlist to all the students in the class, the teacher picks Alexa. It has actually pulled out all the past data of Alexa on topics that are related to this new concept. And based on that, it has generated a playlist for the teacher that she can use for Alexa. Now the teacher has complete control here. The teacher can choose to use this playlist or pick concepts from here and add it to the playlist. The playlist basically consists of these cards that we call learning objects. This is where we are not tied to any one methodology or philosophy of learning. These cards could be projects, it could be Socratic discussions. They can have different types of content like video, books to read, short assessments, or it could be a field trip where the students go out, gather pictures of what they are seeing and upload it to the card. The whole idea being that this is where the template of a card can be customized based on the school's model. Now, what's interesting, as we said, is the system actually does 80 to 90% of the job for the teacher. As you can see, the playlist generated changes based on the student that the teacher is selecting. This gives teacher the choice to either accept this and publish it to the student or to edit it and add her own stuff. So we completely offer a personalized approach or give teachers a hybrid approach where the teacher can actually participate in the journey of personalization because we believe teachers know best what students need. This will be present for every concept and every subject, and it's going to take time to build out over the next 18 months. The next bit what the teacher can do is actually give recognition for students in the form of kudos and nudges for activities that they're doing in the class. This is really easy. The teacher can basically pick the student, take a picture of the student, and assign a tag. These are badges that the teacher can assign to different students. The last bit is for the teacher to see individual students' reports. Here, the teacher can see how Carlos is progressing across different subjects. The system automatically will pull out skills and focus areas for the students based on how those learning objects we showed earlier are tagged. This means that when an object is created, a teacher can tag it to certain skills and focus areas, and based on historic data, the system can automatically generate these. The teacher here can also see what goals Carlos has set for himself. These are personal goals, which need not be academic. These goals are very different for each student, and the teacher can use this to talk to students during their one-on-one conferences or to hold them accountable or motivate them to reach those goals. The next bit is sort of a summary view for the teacher to see how each student in the class is progressing. Because this is fundamentally built on self-paced learning, we believe some students can be learning different topics, different levels of the same topic, and the teacher should have an ability to view this. As you can see, the teacher can see what topic each one is doing, how many milestones they've covered. They all can have different milestones based on their level. And then the teacher can either message the parent if she wants to talk about Alexa, or actually set up a conference to talk to Alexa one-on-one. The last bit is for the teacher to communicate with the parent directly in the system. Teacher can see all the historic conversations and also send new messages either through SMS or through an email. Now let's look at the student quickly. The student basically sees a similar dashboard that we saw earlier. Their completion on different topics, the skills that they are attaining, areas that they need to focus on, their own goals, where they can go and add and remove goals. And they can sort of see summary of it, the kudos and badges that they have got from their peers or from the teacher. The student again can set their own goals. This is customizable based on the school. We can add as much content as we want here to teach students how to set goals, how to get consistent, and here the student can actually go and set up goals for themselves. This is the part where the student spends most of their time, which is accessing playlists and learning. If you remember, the teacher, through her control panel, could assign playlists and activities for the student. This is where a student can log in and see what activities are assigned to them. These activities have different types of content. It can link to other tools, or it can be linked to a Google Doc for reading material, or to YouTube, or the teacher can upload it herself. There are different types of contents that we can support. Again, we don't want to build content, but we want to map it and tag it to different types of resources based on the school's methodology and philosophy. Here the student can also see sort of their wall on all the badges and kudos they have achieved. This was given by the teacher. These badges are completely customizable, so the school can actually create their own, find it online, and upload it so that there's not a one fit all solution on how teachers motivate kids through kudos. The last bit is where students can also give each other through a chat interface any of these badges. This is sort of facilitating peer learning in each other and sort of social emotional learning. The last bit is for the parents. The parent can actually see the handbook of the school, look at their students, how they're progressing, get messages from the teacher, and also see the overall school schedule. All of these components are completely flexible and customizable. We can add more based on the school. We can change the material and do this really easily. To summarize this, basically what you've seen is a very early version of the O3 Schools platform. It has different components to it, but at the core is the teacher and the teacher's professional development and data and control to create playlists. And on the other hand, for the students to actually work on those individualized items in the playlist, which the teacher has assigned to them. These two combined, we believe, can fit into any framework of a school and is not tied into a rigid system of learning.